Welcome to Lothar's Guitar School and today's gear talk on the Fuchs ODS 30 and especially on the tone control. I'll be recording it for you with different guitars with an SM57, and to see more precisely what the tone control does, we'll be checking it with a spectrum analyzer that shows the frequency, how they're cut and boost. So let's go on. In order to show you the tone controls, I've hooked it up to a spectrum analyzer, which is hooked up just after the power amp, before the speaker. And I use a simple pink noise generator that I put into the input. At first, the setup, I turn everything on to 5, high, mid, lows, accent to 5, bright off, deep off, jazz position, and it looks as follows. That's a typical curve for a tube amp. Lots of highs, mids a little cut, and a fair amount of lows. When I turn up to 30 watts, it doesn't change much, because I have a switch that turns the 4 6 L6s down to 2 6 L6s. So that's maybe just 20% more, even though it's twice the power. Contrary to common belief, if you go from 10 watts to 100 watts, you don't have 10 times the volume, you have 10 times the power, just twice the volume. These lights, you have 3 dB between each light, so 2 dB is 6 dB, which is about twice the power. So now let's check what happens if I turn the bright switch on. Bright on, and you see a fair amount of brightness, 6 dB more or less. So twice the volume on that, at least. If you turn up deep, you see it works way down here. This analyzer goes from 31.5 Hertz to 16K, so that's actually below what a guitar can offer. A guitar starts at about 80 Hertz, so it gives you a considerable amount more of low end. And if you switch from jazz to rock, all of the frequencies are lifted. What happens if I turn it all down? Well, there's not much of anything anymore. So you can see when you turn it up where the lows work. They work down here at the bottom. If I turn up deep, you see the peak is at about 63, which is the very low end of the guitar. If you turn up the mids, not much of anything is happening. It's more actually of a mid cut. When you pull the switch, that's the gain control, which turns off all the tone controls. You have a lot more of a level. So this is as much as you can get from the amp, but the tone controls have no effect anymore. just very little, almost no effect. Moving up to the highs, as we saw previously, they work up here. If I turn up bright, you have even a lot more up here. And when you pull the switch on the high, you move the frequencies down from high to mids. You have more overall, but it also moves the effect of the high control further down to about between 1.6 and 2K, and without it, it works around here, around 4 or 5K. So that's that for the highs. If you use the accent by itself, it doesn't do much of anything, at least not very strong. It really works in conjunction with the highs. Then you see that the accent control gives a lot more. The accent control, like like Fender amps, it's called presence, works on the power amp. So that's a special frequency around 6-8K, which gives you even more accent. So that's it. The controls here on the overdrive section doesn't do much on the frequencies, but it adds distortion to it. Those switches, input and the output, and reverb we haven't touched here because that is not part of the tone control section. So this was a little excursion into the tone control section, and which gives a little insight on how the tone controls work. So this was it on today's Gear Talk on the Fuchs ODS 30, and especially on the tone control. I hope you got a lot out of it, and hope to see you next time at Lothar's Guitar School. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that button.